I love that shot, actually.
Amen.
Sincere and refuted.
I think one of the markers for me, it's almost like a spinal column that I have to keep, aligning to. It's not that I'm always in this kind of emotional, spiritual alignment, day after day after day, but when I get out of sorts, when my attitude goes sideways or whatever, I realize I'm out of alignment. And one of the key things I found is to go back and check my motive. Why am I doing what I'm doing? So I actually learned this early on. I started as a youth pastor on the West Coast, and lots of stories there. But one of the stories that I remember clearly, because it became a watershed in my life, was after several years. The Lord had been gracious to us. We built a youth group. I say we, really God did it, but it was like several hundred young people. It was all cool. And yet I got to a place of real burnout, after maybe 6-7 years. And I was walking on the beach and saying, God, I don't know what's going on, but my peace, my shalom, this rest, we're supposed to be moving out of inner rest. God, I don't even know what that is, because I was so busy. I was such in an accelerated mode. And the Lord, in His graciousness, just began to ask me some questions, about why I was doing what I was doing in that particular ministry. Again, young people, outreach, discipleship, all the rest. So he began to, in that still small voice of His, He began to probe my heart, and I just felt the questions come like something like this. Why do you have small groups? Why are you organizing young people into small groups all over the place? I said, well, because kids need discipling. They need an opportunity to get in small group and process their faith and be discipled. And then I heard a little phrase come to my heart. Good, but not the best. Okay. Then the questions started coming in pretty rapid fire. Why are you evangelizing? Why do you have ministries like drama ministries and stuff that you're doing to reach others? Well, because people need Jesus. People need the gospel. People need to hear, right? Good, but not the best. I'm thinking, what is this? I just was crazy. Like, okay, then why are you gathering young people in these large gatherings of worship? Because that was a real priority for us way back then, is worship, Why are you doing? Well, because God, young people need to come together and be in your presence and receive from you and all that good stuff. And again, the phrase, good motive, but not the best. And I learned something on the beach that day. That my burnout was in large part due to doing all kinds of things from good motives, but not the best. So obviously I'm just walking, and now I'm in the zone with God here, right? And I'm saying, okay, well then God, what is the best motive? And again, so clear, to give me pleasure. Oh my goodness, it was like a weight rolled off my shoulders. A whole sense of peace came into my heart. That's so simple, but it's so right. Why am I doing anything that I'm doing? It should be, first and foremost, to give Him pleasure. And suddenly that became a calibration to me. It's like, okay, why are we having small groups? To give God pleasure. Not that the other motives were bad. They weren't. They were good motives. But it wasn't the motive that led me to constant joy and peace. My joy and peace level had taken a hit, the burnout thing. And I realized that day that to the degree I do everything, whether pastoring, whether speaking, whether even being here with you, if I'm doing this for any other motive other than to give my Jesus pleasure, to bring joy to His heart, I risk burnout. To the degree that I relate everything that I do, whether it's this ministry or that ministry, even tending my family and or my vocation, to the degree that I do it to give God pleasure, to that degree, my joy and peace level remain constant. And that is like one of those life principles that I will keep coming back to when I start smelling burnout. And it's not like I do this perfectly. What it is, it's like one of those go-to places that you know when you're diagnosing your heart and it's starting to go south on you. You're starting to get impatient. You're starting to get restless. You're feeling like, I just don't really care much anymore. And the signs of burnout begin to register there. For me now, I can go back and say, wait a minute, it's probably because I've allowed that pattern to reemerge where I'm doing stuff for good motives, but not the best. So Lord, I just want to get back to best motive here, and that's to give you pleasure. And that is what keeps me in joy and peace.